So, yeah. All right, we have the Cowboys stuff up. Let's
All
do
right,
the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah,
All right.
Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys. Last year, 7-9-1. Of course, the greatest tie on planet Earth happened. Their offense was awesome. Their defense was literally the worst. The worst in the NFL. Kind of sucks for Eberflus. If I give him one mulligan, he probably went into the season expecting to have Micah Parsons and then didn't. So that probably hijacked a little bit of
He
their
doesn't
defense.
deserve a mulligan.
But
Come on.
I'm kind of talking about like the difference between like 32nd and like 26th. And that might be the difference between this team making the playoffs or not. They were that bad last year. So they brought in Christian Parker from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's been their secondaries coach, Ben, correct?
Yes.
And they, of course, made some massive trades during the season to get Quinnen Williams after trading away Micah Parsons. Quinnen Williams then gets a major extension just a few weeks ago. George Pickens got tagged. They brought back Terrence Steele, Javonte Williams, Brandon Aubrey, Malik Hooker still doing it, TJ Bass, and then Sam Williams. They traded for D Winners and Rashawn Gary, some established starters along that front seven. They brought in Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, PJ Locke, Ogbania, and Sam Howell as a backup quarterback along with Jonathan Bullard. Their big departures, if you call them departures, Osa Odigizua to San Francisco, in which they got the pick back for Jayshon Barham, and Solomon Thomas to the Titans, lost Donovan Wilson, Kenneth Murray, who's not signed, Logan Wilson, who's not signed, and then Jadeveon Clowney, who just signed with Houston. And their draft. I think this is the part of their defense that they're really looking to close the gap with Caleb Downs, likely playing the nickel. Malachi Lawrence, just another guy into the edge room. Jayshon Barham is going to play off-ball linebacker, kind of scouted him as an edge for me. So interested to see how that works out. And then Drew Shelton and Devin Moore were some of the picks they got back in the trade up, or the trade back with the Eagles for Mekhi Lemon. So both of those fourths come from the Eagles. And then their big questions. Defense, and more defense. You think about, I think it's like 7 of the 11 starters this year are projected to be new players on this roster. So again, just you could go through each part of this defense and ask the question on how good are these players going to be, because the offense is already there. The offense has already figured it out. Rashawn Gary is someone that I think they expect to be better than he was with the Packers. Jalen Thompson is someone that they expect to be, anchoring the secondary. And then, of course, Caleb Downs being a ready-made rookie product out of Ohio State. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. And then, obviously, the scheme change of getting a guy like Christian Parker, who has never done this before. So, again, we're all doing the projection game with Christian Parker. The number 2 one, Pickens is going to play on the tag, and he signed it. He's playing on it. Don't know how much I love that, and I don't know what this means for this team, just from the sense of if he has another explosion year, they're going to have to pay him what JSN just got, and JSN just got $40 million. So I'm kind of like, are they going to just play this out and then tag him next year and trade him? I don't know. But if he has any season resembling what he was last year, he's a top 5 receiver, in my opinion. That's how good he was last year. So I'm interested to see how that kind of transpires going forward. And then the starting left tackle, when I made this graphic, it was up for grabs. But since it has been Tyler Guyton. So that is going to be, and it seems like he won the job pretty outright. Away from, I believe it was Nate Thomas was getting majority of the 2's snaps, but I think their offensive line for the most part is solidified. But what do you guys have on the Cowboys, likely the defense?
Yeah, I'll start. I want to just say this team, to me, and I mean, this might be the most like common take ever, considering like how the Cowboys fans are every single year. but like this team feels like a bit of a sleeping giant because I don't feel like there's anybody really talking about them. There's not a lot of noise surrounding them. And I was a very big fan of Malachi Lawrence coming out of college and into the draft, if you remember. Obviously Caleb Downs, falling to them. You've got your concerns about his injury history, but I don't think that's going to necessarily be a problem at the pro level, or hopefully it won't. But Malachi Lawrence, I believe, is a good addition to this defense alongside Quinnen Williams. And then just overall, their additions too, like Kobe Durant for 1 year on $4 million. I know that that's not as significant as others might think, but I'm a huge fan of that signing for cheap. And it seems like that was the common theme in this offseason as well, is that there were some corners that can make some noise for a team like this that didn't necessarily get a massive bag. But I think that this is a hungry team in the light of there are a few guys, like you had mentioned, George Pickens, that are on 1 year deals that want to go out there and make some noise and get a big payday. So you've got a bunch of guys that are motivated to not only just win, but prove that they are big money guys. And I think that they can be. And so with that point, I'm surprised that Pickens, the type of receiver that he is, would play on a tag, but with the price tag as well, $27.3 million for 1 year, like, okay, I'll show you guys that I'm worth more than that, but that's still pretty good. But I think it's a huge addition as far as this overall offseason's concerned. And I don't think that the defensive statistics are going to reflect even remotely close to what they were last year, based on what this team looks like. I'm a huge
I hope
fan.
not.
And then you've got the other side of the ball, just strictly talking about your offensive side, where Dak Prescott can make a lot of noise and is darn near a MVP candidate for the majority of the season. This guy's a perennial passer for over 4,000 yards, and he's got the weapons to do it as well. I'm very excited to watch the Cowboys play football this year. I'm just going to be honest, because they're going to be on primetime a lot. Normally they are. It's just the normal Cowboys, but at the same time, they're going to be a little bit better, in my opinion. And that should make people excited too, because when the Cowboys are good, football's good. But Ben, what do you got?
I don't know about that. I was up until that final point you just made. But no, again, just as Matt had said, everything comes into what we're getting for this defense. Like I don't have any concern at all about what is happening on the opposite side of the football. Everything is coming for them. It's great. Like, not worried about it at all. It all comes down to what we are getting out of our defense, and I think a lot of it comes from like what is on that front. I am very much of the mindset like it is. We're figuring out this defensive line
Ben.
and back, and this is how we build the defense. So
Ben, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna turn off your. Well, can you turn off your camera to see if your connection will improve here? Because it's kind of glitching just a little bit, and I almost wonder if that would help your connection here. In other words,
I doubt it will
make
help
it
connection, but
it's I mean, whatever works, because it's kind of hard to make out what you're saying here. We'll see. Sorry,
I'll keep
everybody,
it
for
short.
the.
I really
Yeah.
what they. I really like what they did along the defensive line. If all of that clicks the way it should, the rest of the defense should be a lot better. You build the defense from the line back. They did that well. Again, it makes the linebacker job easier, which then makes the secondary lives a lot easier. So I like what they did on the.
Oh, I promise I didn't do anything. That's ironic. I don't know if he left or what that happened. Or I don't know. He's
They're tired of
from
his
what
Dallas Cowboys takes.
what I took from that is that he's a big fan of what they're building up front on the defensive line. or I guess just in the trenches in general. And I think that he's improving or expecting improvements on those lines. But overall, based on those additions, if they are what we think that they are, then they should be fine. Did you take anything else from what he was saying? Unfortunately, guys, there's a little bit of technical difficulties there, so we apologize for those listening, either audio or YouTube. But did you get anything else out of that, or maybe some extra points?
I think his point is similar to everyone's, where it won't be as bad as last year, right? There's just no way with the additions that they've brought in, and they're similar into that, like, that tier of Cincinnati. Like, they're in the Cincinnati tier where it's like, we're gonna churn out top six offenses when the quarterback's healthy and the receivers are so good that if we can just get this defense to 17th, 18th, 19th, like, we're going to be a team to reckon with and win 11 games, because just the offense is, the offensive production output is just going to be so massive. And so I think that's kind of where we're steering the point, where I think we all like the defense solely on the fact of it's just not going to be as bad as last year. And
Yeah.
it felt like they were walking into, this snake pit. When you trade Micah, at the time that you trade Micah, you have no opportunity to refill what Parsons does. And it feels like the last 365 days, getting a Quinnen Williams, getting a Rashawn Gary, bringing in two safeties in Downs and Thompson, you are filling out the roster in a way that you can, kind of shoulder that loss where it just felt like they couldn't a year ago.
Is this team to you? Do you think that they look like the type of team that can actually make a run here? Like, looking at the structure, the offensive numbers, and the defensive improvements, I think that this is a team personally that could potentially make a jab at, the Rams in the playoffs if they were to meet up in like the divisional round. Like, you catch this team playing another one on a bad day, like, this could be an NFC championship or Super Bowl reaching team, in my opinion. But are you seeing the same thing?
Not really. I think for the most part, it's still just, it's so up in the air. Like, I need to see 8 weeks of it before I'm committing to like that tier, because I still think they are like two tiers down from that like Rams, Seahawks, NFC tier, and even like, maybe spoiler, but like the Eagles in this division, right? Like, I still just need to see it in that sense, where
Yeah.
I know the offense is good, but how good is the defense is kind of
Yeah.
the other point of it, where those two teams at the top are still churning out, you know, two of the three best defenses at least, and
Yeah.
having like one of the best offensive, like the MVP and the offensive player of the year are on those teams as well. So it's not like their
Right.
offenses are just going to be stagnant against like a Dallas defense.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things too that I think could be improved, and Ben's back in the studio here. We'll see if anything improves here. But one of the things that I've got questions about is still the run game, because Javonte Williams had a really good season and signed for it as well, 3 for 24. I'm excited to see if that production can kind of keep up, because after him, it's kind of a dull spot on the offense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know exactly where we'll go with that, but
Well, that's the thing
yeah.
too, is he wasn't this like beacon of help
Hey,
before he got
don't you
there.
go easy on that? All right, buddy.
Uh, okay. I don't know. Oh, and he's gone again. Dang it. Okay. We'll figure this out, guys. We'll figure this out. Well, do you want to move forward, I guess, and we'll just talk about the lines and everything?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me pull it up here.
I'm almost interested to see where they fall in the NFC, because I think of the Cowboys as a team that'll compete with Philly for the division title again. Like this won't be a, Philly's just going to run away with it kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
can see that. Absolutely.
Ooh.
So their odds kind of reflect what you're saying and what we've been saying, where there's going to be an uptick. They won 7 games last year. The over/under sitting at a juice to the under at 9.5. They're second in the division, kind of pretty easily. They're 8th in the conference, and then 16th, 25-1 to win the Super Bowl. So
Okay. Yeah, 9.5. Looking at the schedule, I'm not gonna expose it, but what I will say is, very happy with the schedule graphic. Is this on the Cowboys website, or was this from a fan or not
yeah,
fan site, but
it was like a space theme kind of thing.
this is really good.
It was
Yeah.
cool. It was
I like
cool.
how they separated the preseason from the regular season. Like they kept that like little, and then everything else is there. And then just space as the bye week. That's really nice. Yeah, but second place in the division in odds to win it, as I believe they should be. Plus 215, that's tempting. That's very tempting. But 8th in the conference, okay, and then 16th in the Super Bowl. That's about where I had expected them when I was saying that. I would assume that there's juice to Philly when it comes to the division odds. 9.5 is interesting though. I feel like this team, without looking and analyzing the schedule just yet, you would look at this roster and go, "This is a better than 9-win team." So I'm excited to dive into the game by game predictions here. But yeah, Ben, let's try this again. How are we feeling about the Cowboys and looking at the schedule and the odds?
We're gonna see. We're this could be minimal talking from me. It seems like for this episode.
It sounds great so far. Knock on wood.
No, this is right around where I thought they'd be.
Okay, perfect. Should I start?
No, we need some.
Sure.
Donovan
Do you want to go up into the
Azaraku.
Bucks?
We need Donovan Azaraku propaganda. All right, the breakout player.
Breakout player.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry,
It was absolutely. I love the fact that you look at that because it was absolutely
no doubt.
overshown.
He couldn't say Maurice Luafau this year, guys.
I know. No, but it was Ezraku and Overshown. Those were the two guys. If Overshown can stay healthy, we'll see. If he can stay healthy, I think Overshown's going to be great. Again, we will see. So it's of course it's going to be Ezraku. So, but Ryan, do you want to take us to the Buccaneers and we'll just do 5-4-4-4?
Yeah. So, starting off, I've got them beating the Giants, beating the Commanders. I have them beating the Ravens, losing to the Texans, beating the Bucks to start 4-1.
I have them starting out 3-0, losing to Houston, and then beating Tampa Bay. So 4-1 as well.
There you go. I have them beating both the Giants and Commanders, losing to both the Ravens and Texans, and then beating the Bucks. So I've been starting out 3-2.
I will have them lose to Green Bay just because that's what they like normally do somehow. And then I will have them beat the. I'll have them lose to Philly in Philly. Beat the Cardinals and then beat the Colts. So 2-2 in that stretch, bringing us to 6-3.
I have them tying with Green Bay again, losing to the Eagles, beating the Cardinals, beating the Colts, and then beating the Niners. Are we going to the Niners?
Yeah, going straight to the Colts. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you have them at after that? I'm sorry.
think that would be
You had them 4-1.
6-2-1.
You had them tying? I'm sorry. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, they tie with Green Bay again.
Oh, nice.
Again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah. I have them beating the Packers, losing to the Eagles, beating the Cardinals, losing to the Colts. I have them going 5-4.
All right. The next 4 games, I have them beating the Niners in like potential game of the year. Beating the Titans, beating the Eagles in round 2, and then losing to the Seahawks 3-1 in that stretch, bringing them to 9-4.
I have them beating the Niners, beating the Titans, beating the Eagles, losing to the Seahawks.
9-3-1 so far for Matt.
Yep.
I the exact same as you guys, winning these 3, then losing to the Seahawks. So I have them at a cool
8-5. All right. And then for the final 4, I have them losing to the Rams, beating the Jaguars, beating the Giants, and then I'll say losing to Washington because they were sitting their starters. They go 11-6 on the season.
Yeah, I just have them losing the rest. I have them losing to the Rams, losing to the Jags, Giants, and Commanders.
9-7-1. This is the first tie in our record prediction so far.
Just as last year.
Yeah.
The only tie of last year.
Yeah. I have them losing to the Rams, beating both the Jags and Giants, losing to the Commanders, finishing the season at 10-7, right in the middle of you guys here.
All right. So, ceiling and floor. I think this team could win like 13 games as their ceiling. And then as their floor, I have them going like 8-9. Just to kind of put it lightly, this team will be in the playoffs this year. And they're going to make some noise. Lots of prime time I'm seeing. So very exciting time to be a Cowboys fan. I'm excited for the season for the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you.
Yep.
Like that's kind of right where I have their ceiling floor. 13 wins.
Really? 13?
As their ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, looking at the division and everything.
Yeah,
9-7-1, not buying 13.
No, I'm underestimating the defense of
I like what they did. I like what they did on the front 4.
Yeah, that could be great, but it's like, do they have an actual edge rusher who can get home and get 10 sacks this season if Rashawn Gary isn't that guy? Like, I don't know, man. He sets a mean edge. I'll give him that. But that's my biggest fear with this team.
Von Miller had 9 sacks last year.
The fakest 9 sacks you will ever see in your life. But
I know you get a kick out of that. No, but I mean, this is like if everything goes right. I mean, like it's the ceiling for a reason, right? Like if everything clicks and everything, like Caleb Downs is like defensive rookie of the year again. Rashawn Gary is like back to like the really good Rashawn Gary. The defensive line, especially the interior, holds up the way you want it to. I think 13 wins. I can't believe that I have to fight for the Cowboys, but I think 13 wins is reachable in a perfect world. But also, again, I think like 7 or 8 wins is also your floor. So there's some variance in there for sure.
Yeah. Like, dude, if Dak gets hurt again this year, it's like it's bad.
Yeah, like 7 is certainly the floor. I'm probably like 10 or 11 being the ceiling, just from the sense of like there's a lot, like I think Quinnen is a really, really good player. There's just so much mystery box to this defense that even if I can I can squint and like the pieces together, it's very like the corners are very, very fragile. The edge rushers, like if none of these edge rushers come together and it's like, oh, that guy's a dude, like that's a fragile group to me. Um, the linebackers are just like gonna be mid, and I think they're just shooting for mid linebackers after the Kenneth Murray and Logan Wilson season. But man, that is 13. You guys are high on them. It's fun for the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Makes me
yeah.
gross that I have to like argue for the Cowboys being successful.
Yeah, let's go ahead and recap. Matt has them at 9-7-1. Ben has them at 10-7, and I have them at 11-6. One thing I want to check really quick as we kind of transition. What do you guys think if you were to put a number on it or set a line? What do you think Dak Prescott's live odds for MVP voting would be?
15-1.
Yeah, probably around 15-1.
Awfully close. It's 14-1. It's pretty good. Good job, guys.
Mm.
15-1 is Caleb Williams. Wow. Had to check for my boy.
Yeah, I mean that's probably right, just from the sense of like if he leads the number one offense, he did it a few years ago, right, and finished second. So I think that's probably the right spot to be.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead.